The moment Wimbledon realized Alex Eala was no longer just a tennis player, there are moments in sports that seem ordinary while they're happening. A ranking update appears on a phone screen. A tournament releases its draw. A player quietly packs her bags, boards a flight, and prepares for another event. Nothing about those moments feels historic. Nothing feels like the beginning of a movement. But every once in a while, history hides inside something so ordinary that nobody notices it until weeks later, when the entire world suddenly looks back and realizes that was the moment everything changed. For Alex Eala, that moment arrived on a quiet June morning in 2026. There were no television cameras following her, no packed stadium chanting her name, no dramatic celebration, just a phone, a notification, and a number that would permanently change Philippine tennis. When Alex opened the latest WTA rankings, she saw something she had dreamed about for years: world number 30. For most tennis fans, that may sound like another ranking update, but rankings tell stories. And this number told a story no Filipino player had ever written before, because only a few minutes later, another notification appeared. One player had withdrawn from Wimbledon. That single withdrawal changed everything. Alex moved from world number 30 to the number 29 seed, and with that, the impossible became reality. For the first time in the history of the Open era, a Filipino tennis player would walk into Wimbledon as a seeded player, not a wild card, not a qualifier, not an underdog, simply hoping to survive the first round. A seed, protected, respected, expected. It wasn't simply another milestone. It was history. But here's what made the story even more remarkable. Almost nobody saw it coming. Because if you rewind only 6 months, the tennis world wasn't talking about Wimbledon at all. It was talking about something that happened thousands of miles away, on Court 6 at the Australian Open. And that is where the story truly begins. Court 6 isn't supposed to become famous. It's one of the smaller courts at Melbourne Park, around 1,500 seats, usually reserved for early round matches. The type of court where spectators casually wander in and out throughout the day. The atmosphere is relaxed, quiet, comfortable. Tournament organizers expected exactly that. Instead, they witnessed complete chaos. Hours before Alex Eala's match even started, fans had already formed lines stretching across Melbourne Park. Security staff kept directing people to different entrances. The queue became longer, then longer again. Eventually, there wasn't enough room. People who arrived 2 hours early couldn't get inside. Thousands remained outside the gates. Most would have walked away. They didn't. They stayed, standing against fences, watching giant screens, listening to cheers from inside, waiting for every single point. And something incredible happened. Every time Alex won a rally, the people outside erupted louder than the crowd inside. Think about that for a moment. This wasn't a Grand Slam final. It wasn't center court. It wasn't even a top 10 showdown. It was a first-round match featuring a player many casual fans around the world barely knew. Yet the atmosphere felt like a championship. Tournament officials couldn't explain it. Commentators couldn't explain it. Even veteran players were confused. Former British Billie Jean King Cup captain and Kia Thaving later admitted she had never expected anything like it. She simply looked at the enormous crowd and asked one unforgettable question. Asterisk. Who made the scheduling decision? Asterisk. That single sentence captured what everyone inside Melbourne Park was thinking. The organizers had completely underestimated Alex Eala, but not because of her tennis, because of something much bigger. To understand why thousands of people suddenly appeared for one player, you have to understand the Filipino community. More than 13 million Filipinos live and work outside Philippines. They are nurses, doctors, teachers, engineers, construction workers, seafarers, caregivers, students, families who left home searching for better opportunities. No matter where they settle, they carry home with them language, food, traditions, and perhaps most importantly, each other. When one Filipino succeeds, many Filipinos celebrate, not because they are told to, because they genuinely feel connected. Alex herself once explained it perfectly. Asterisk. When one Filipino succeeds, We all feel proud. Asterisk simple. Honest. True. That sentence explains something statistics never can. Because Alex isn't simply representing herself. She represents millions of people who know exactly what sacrifice feels like. Parents working overseas. Children growing up far from home. Families separated for years. Dreams built through quiet determination. When Alex walks onto a tennis court, many overseas Filipinos don't just see an athlete. They see someone carrying a piece of their own story. That's why they travel. That's why they wait in line for hours. That's why they wave Philippine flags in countries thousands of miles away from Manila. It's not celebrity. It's belonging. And then something extraordinary started happening. Tournament after tournament. Country after country. The same scenes repeated. Indian Wells. Practice sessions suddenly attracted crowds, usually reserved for finals. Fans lined up simply to watch Alex warm up, not even compete. Just practice. Dubai. Officials publicly admitted they had underestimated the Filipino community. Rome. The exact same story unfolded again. Outside courts became overcrowded. Security had to redirect spectators. Schedules were quietly adjusted. By now, this wasn't coincidence. It had become a pattern. Tournament organizers realized something the rankings couldn't explain. Alex Eala generated crowds unlike almost anyone else in women's tennis. Not because she was world number one. She wasn't. Not because she had already won Grand Slams. She hadn't. She attracted people because millions genuinely believed they were watching history being written in real time. Every tournament became another chapter. Every victory strengthened that belief. And every week, more people started paying attention. Then came Berlin. And suddenly, the conversation changed completely. Because fan support alone doesn't make someone dangerous. Winning does. Berlin featured one of the strongest grass court fields outside Wimbledon. Elite players, Grand Slam champions, top 10 stars. Most observers expected Alex's run to end early. Instead, she shocked everyone. Her first major challenge came against Elena Rybakina, one of the biggest servers in women's tennis, a Wimbledon champion. A player many experts considered one of the favorites for the grass season. Alex didn't simply survive. She attacked. Fearlessly, she absorbed Rybakina's power, returned aggressively, controlled rallies, and won in straight sets. Analysts called it one of the biggest upsets of the season. Before they had time to process it, Alex walked back onto court the very next day. Across the net stood another elite player, Alina Svitolina. Former world number 3, experienced, calm, dangerous. Again, Alex refused to blink. Again, she won in straight sets. Back-to-back victories over world-class opponents. On grass, the very surface that usually takes players years to master. Suddenly, people stopped asking whether Alex belonged among the best. Instead, they started wondering just how far she could go. When the rankings updated after Berlin, those victories carried enormous weight. 5 places, 1 week, world number 30. Then the Wimbledon withdrawal. Then the number 29 seed. History, but rankings weren't the only numbers astonishing the tennis world. Because something else had begun exploding. Television audiences, online engagement, press conferences. Everywhere Alex appeared, people watched. One Australian Open press conference reportedly attracted more viewers online than those of several established Grand Slam champions. Not a match, a press conference. Sponsors noticed, tournament directors noticed, players noticed. Even Coco Gauff admitted that if women's tennis sold jerseys like American sports, Alex would probably lead the entire tour. Think about that. A Grand Slam champion publicly acknowledging another player's extraordinary popularity. That doesn't happen often. It wasn't hype anymore. It was reality. Alex Eala had become one of the biggest attractions in women's tennis. And Wimbledon was only days away. No tournament wanted another Melbourne situation. Nobody wanted thousands of disappointed fans locked outside smaller courts. Emergency discussions quietly began. Which court should Alex play on? How many spectators were expected? Would security need additional staff? Could outside courts even handle the demand? Questions organizers had never imagined asking about the world number 29. Yet here they were, preparing for something they had never experienced before. Because this wasn't simply about tennis anymore. It was about an entire nation, an entire global community, a movement that had grown far beyond rankings, trophies, or statistics. Somewhere inside a London hotel, Alex Eala was likely thinking only about her opening round opponent, about serves, returns, footwork, strategy, just another tennis match. But outside those hotel walls, thousands of Filipino supporters were already arriving across the city. Some had flown overnight, others had saved for months. Many had rearranged work schedules just for one chance to witness history. They weren't traveling because victory was guaranteed. They traveled because they believed, and sometimes, belief becomes the most powerful force in all of sports. They had stood outside Court 6 in Melbourne. They had filled practice courts in Indian Wells. They had transformed Dubai and Rome. Now, they were coming to Wimbledon, not hoping history would happen, believing they were about to witness it. And for the first time in nearly 150 years, the lawns of the All England Club were preparing to welcome a Filipino player, not simply as another competitor, but as one of the tournament's official seeds. The stage was finally set. History had opened its doors, and Alex Eala was about to walk through them.